try to make a next motherfucking scene up in fucking Shredder She Wrote. How much money is that
Jello Beats, holla at me.
And Chewy on some hot nigga. Like I told Tish, I see when I shot niggas. Like you seen him twirl, then he drop nigga.
Okay, cut, and cut. So, what was the point of all that? Well, I don't really know. Haha, just kidding, of course. You see, I rode my bike, as I usually do, and of course I followed the proper safety protocol. And then after that I just enjoyed myself as physics inconspicuously did its work. The place we rode around in was Intramuros, and using a fancy schmancy app called Strava, I was able to determine some important and vital ride statistics. So for the purposes of this video, this vlog, we're looking for 6 things really. We're looking for the angular position or theta, angular velocity or omega, angular acceleration alpha, my bike wheel's tangential speed and acceleration, which are v sub t and a sub t respectively, and of course the torque. And for us to be able to solve this, we have the following data. We have, according to Strava, the total distance covered, d, which is 3,710 meters. We have total time elapsed, t, which is 663 seconds. And we also have average linear velocity, which is 5.611 meters per second. And we also have, according to my bike manual, the bike wheel diameter, which is 0.6985 meters. And the bike wheel radius, which is 0.34925 meters. To get the angular position theta, we need to divide the total distance covered by the circumference of my bike wheels. The circumference of my bike wheels is pi times the diameter, so pi times 0.6985 meters. We divide the total distance by pi times 0.6985 meters, and we get 1690.665 revolutions. To convert that to radians, we simply multiply it to 2 pi. Then the answer would be 10,622.76 rad. And now, to get the angular velocity, omega, we just need to divide delta theta by delta t. So we get 10,622.763 rad minus 0 divided by 663 seconds minus 0. And that comes out to 16.02 rad per second. Following that, we can now determine the angular acceleration alpha by dividing delta omega by delta t. That would come out as 16.022 rad per second minus 0 divided by 663 seconds minus 0, which would come out to 0.024 rad per second squared. To the wheels. My bike wheel's tangential velocity, or v sub t, can be computed by multiplying the angular velocity by the radius of my bike wheel. So that comes out to omega times r, which is 16.022 rad per second times 0.34925 meters, which comes out as 5.611 meters per second, which is equal to the 5.611 in the raw data. And as for my wheel's tangential acceleration, we just need to multiply alpha to the radius. Alpha times the radius is 0.024 rad per second squared times 0.34925 meters. That would come out as 0.00839 meters per second squared. And now for the torque. Now we could have used the equation for torque, tau equals F radius sine theta, but since I wanted to relate my mass, I used tau equals I alpha, or moment of inertia and angular acceleration, which is more related to F equals ma. I is equal to L over the angular velocity, omega, and L is just equal to my mass times my linear velocity times the radius of my wheels. So that would be 65 kilograms times 5.611 meters per second times 0.34925 meters. Divide that by my angular velocity, and that would give me an I of 7.950 kilogram meters squared. Multiplying that I to my angular acceleration, I would get a torque of 0.192 Newton meters. The fascinating thing about this equation is that the moment of inertia I is inversely proportional to the angular acceleration. And we can see that in the bike. Here, as you can see in the bike, we have different gears of different sizes. Now we know that the smaller gears have less moments of inertia than the larger gears because they have less mass and their mass is closer to their center than the larger gears. That means that when I pedal the bike on a smaller gear, since their moment of inertia is less, my angular acceleration would be greater. So if my bike is on a smaller gear, I can spin the wheel and accelerate the wheel faster. But if I put it on a larger gear, then when I pedal my bike, I spin the wheel, I accelerate the wheel slower. And that makes sense because when I was taught how to ride a bike, I was told that if I wanted to go faster, put my bike in the lower gears or the smaller gears. And I was told that if I wanted to go slower, I need to put it on the larger gears. So truly we see that these equations translate in real life.
Checks till I pass out. The shorty give me neck till I pass out. I swear to God, all I do is cash out. And if you ain't a hoe, get up on my trap house. I've been selling cracks since like the 5th grade. Really never made no difference with the shit made. Jaja told me flip them packs and how to maintain. Get that money back and spend it on the same thing. Shorty like the way that I ball out. I be getting money till I fall out. You talking cash, dog, I goes all out. Shorty love the way that I floss out. Free greasy them, let all of my dogs out. Mama send no pussy cats inside my dog house. That's what got my daddy locked up in the dog pound. Free fan on them, let all of my dogs out. We gon' pull up in that like we cops on them. With them 16s, we gon' put some shots on them. I send a little dot, I send a drop on them. She gon' call me up and I'ma stick the highs on them. Grimy savage, that's what we are. Grimy shooters dressed in G-Star. GS9.